with you? I hope you're doing well. So today we're making some cards using the beautiful Anki-Dory set that Francis had sent me a while back. I believe I did use some of the papers already, but I still have more. And I was just in one of those moods to play with the fairies, and I thought it'd be fun. And I would take you along, because why not? And thank you everyone who mentioned that these are to be used as the insides of cards. Makes a lot of sense. But I guess the cards are pretty big in order to do that. Whereas most of my cards are fairly small, because I like to be able to try to keep them relatively cheap to send out, especially since stamps have gone up. The US stamps have gone up yet again, so now it's $1.75 Canadian to send one little card out, and if it doesn't fit within the little tiny slot of like if it's raised too much, then it's $4.25. So pretty expensive. And therefore I'm gonna try to, you know, keep my cards on the smaller side. I'm thinking, like, I really want to use this little piece, and I could put something on that way, and then maybe I can use this little fairy. I'm not sure I like the white part, so I would probably try to put the fairy something like that. But now, do I have other papers that I would like to use on the background? Maybe some of this, like that could be nice. And then I could put maybe a little sentiment here. So let's do that. There's that one as well. We'll see which one is the best once I've got it cut. So today it's a rainy day. We've had 3 beautiful days. I used 2 of them to play in the yard at the studio and try to get ready for spring, like putting down mulch and mowing the lawn. And because it's been raining so much, like, the lawn is growing like crazy. The one thing though is that I'm realizing that I'm aching a lot. I'm not used to doing such physical work, I guess, which, you know, it's gonna be a good thing that I'm moving around more, but let me tell you, I'm feeling muscles that I haven't been using in a while. I still have to plant my stuff at home, because I tried to take the weekend off, and it's been raining on the weekends. Plus, anyway, recently there's a lot of garage sales, so I've been doing that for my business, and so I'm not. I guess I decided that I was going to use the flowers. I didn't even try putting the other side. But I don't think it would have been as pretty. So, yeah, I've been going to the garage sales to try to find new merchandise. But that means that I'm not getting much done. But anyway, it's been raining on the weekends, so it's not like I'm using up time that I would have spent in the garden. And I'm so sad because my garden center that was close to my house, where I used to buy all my plants for the garden, has closed. So now I'm thinking there's certain plants I'll probably just try to do that. But there's some that I really would like to have the plants already grown, like cherry tomatoes and stuff like that. So, and I went to, if you're in the province of Quebec, you know Maxi. So I went there, but they had, the plants were actually $5 a piece. I'm like, that's a lot of money for something that's quite small. So I was quite disappointed with the with that. Okay, I like that, but I'm missing something here. And I still have my flowers next to me, but they're more in the, they're more like that type of tone, so it doesn't really fit with this. It's also going to raise up the card. As I said, I don't necessarily want to raise up my card so much because it's going to cost more. I do have some other flowers. Maybe I could use one of those. But like I said, it's probably going to raise it up a lot. I have also these embellishments that I've had for a while. So maybe one of those could be pretty. There's a lot of gold, so maybe the white. I don't know. I don't know why I purchased these, because I've never used them. And I've had them for a long time. So clearly I thought they were pretty at the time, but then didn't feel that they were pretty enough to use for my card making. I do have these flowers also. Maybe I could put a flower like that and then put one of those blings in the middle. Would it fit? Because that wouldn't be so, because this one is really gonna raise it up, which wouldn't be a problem if I give it in person. But if I send it out in mail, then it's going to cost me a lot more. Because that could be pretty. But it is a bit big. If I put this, it's more delicate. That's too big for it. It would have to be the small one. Or the bling. Okay, so I'm gonna use that flower. I'm gonna put, and you guys are probably having all sorts of ideas that I'm not hearing, obviously. I so wish sometimes I would hear you guys, because you always have great ideas. I love when you leave comments and I have other your opinion of what you would have done, because cards are very personal, so they can be done in so many ways. So I kind of like the white, just because there's bling on it. So here's my first card. I think it's pretty and fresh. Might actually end up being my daughter's birthday card. She doesn't watch my videos, so I'm good to go on that. Actually, none of my kids watch my videos, but you know, it's not surprising that my boys don't. But my daughter has other type of interests. She does create, though. She's an occupational therapist, and now she decided that she wanted to do something different. So she's actually went back to school to do back to CEGEP. Which is basically like college here, and doing an art program while working part-time. And at first she was struggling, because obviously it's very different than the type of work that she does, but now she really loves it, which is cool. And she's very talented. And I've lost my piece. How did that happen? Okay, this is ridiculous. I had the piece right next to me. Oh. I'm telling you, sometimes it's difficult. I wonder if I want to cut out this, or if I want to use it more like that, and then put maybe something like that. So feels like a waste to not keep the border, but this, and this is gonna go there, and this is gonna go like so. And I hate all those little tabs. I can never cut out the cutouts without having little tabs that still stick out. I believe somebody said they would sand theirs down. I just don't have the patience to do that, so a little cut with the scissors does the job. Now I wonder if I want to put something else underneath the fairy, or if I want, probably not, but then I'm thinking that maybe I need something in the corners here. Do I have some? red doesn't really go. Maybe this here. It's fairly flat, but it's just gonna give a little something to the corners. I want to raise it up a bit so that it fits like it's in between the... So that's my second card. And then we've got this one, which is quite tall. So there won't be much room left. I could remove that frame, but I'm not sure where I would use it otherwise, so I'm thinking of leaving it the same way I did with the first fairy. They're just so romantic and pretty. I love anything that's like girly like that. Okay, I'm thinking for that one I'm going to remove the base and leave maybe and remove it at that line. Actually, I should remove it first because then I can align the to make the sides and I can put the sides and all around on an equal space. I'm eyeballing it, obviously, and not pulling out a ruler. I hate pulling out rulers. I do so for all my listings on Etsy because I need to measure everything, but other than that, I don't like using a ruler. So, thinking this, but then there's these big gaps here. However, I do have these little gold blings, and those are not very thick. Like, they're fairly thin, so they won't really add a lot to the thickness of the card. And I think they'll finish it off nicely. I'll use one on the other side as well. And it's a way to use up my stash. So here we go. Added little bling to this. Now the last one though, I think is way too big for my cards. I think it would have to go on a 6 by 6 because this is definitely too big. So I do have some papers 6 by 6 cut out. And even that's too tall. Wow. So it needs to be one of those 5 by 7, I guess, cards. Of course, I don't have. I could just use the fairy. And I think I might do that because I don't really use the 5x7 size. I'm not sure I have envelopes either for that size, honestly. Whereas I do have the 6x6. I've had somebody ask me in the past where I get my 6x6 envelopes, and I got them on Amazon. I am trying not to purchase anything from Amazon, but sometimes you just have to do what you need to do to be able to get the supplies that you need. I used to have this American company that I would purchase from, but I don't think they sell anymore. Plus, anyway, the shipping would be horrendous, so not making it worth it. Because anything with paper is fairly heavy and gets to be expensive. Somehow it didn't come apart nicely. And I'm going to use this here because I want to use it. And then there's the beautiful butterflies here that I haven't used. I don't want to throw them away because I will be throwing away the rest of this page. So I don't want to keep everything. I'm trying to be better at it, even though I keep like such small pieces. I know I'm not going to use the frames, so don't want to keep having stuff just for the sake of having stuff. So I'm thinking maybe I want to use this here, and then I can use that here on the sides. Maybe this way. And put this like that. Okay, I don't want to put this on top of this, so I'm going to keep it for something else. I won't put a sentiment on this one, but I do have some white little ribbon, and my bow maker, my easy bow maker is here. So I will make a little bow. I'm starting to keep some of my ribbon close by so that I don't have to get up when I'm making videos, because often I don't really know the cards I'm going to be making. So honestly, like I'm not one of those who plans everything in advance. I just kind of go with the flow. As I'm making the card, it kind of tells me what it needs, and so that's what I go with, and therefore I don't have, often I'm missing some stuff, like just before when I was missing the flowers, and actually I didn't use the flowers, but I did use the bling, so I guess it was worth getting up for it. But yeah, I'm trying to keep some of my ribbon close by. This way, especially stuff like this, because I do want to use more of ribbons. I used to make much fancier cards when I was part of design teams for artists, but then I wasn't making videos, so that's the thing. I was making the cards, but just on my own, and then I could take whatever time and I wouldn't be stressing about the video content and whatever, and taking time to try out stuff, and then figuring out that I don't like it, and then going back and whatever. All of that was off camera, so it wasn't a problem. But now that I'm doing on camera, there's a lot of stuff that I don't use because pulling everything out that I might use and that I don't end up using, but then I need to put away after, just makes it very complicated. I just don't, I'm lazy, I guess. I just don't want to deal with it. Yeah, I'm thinking that's gonna be pretty. And I do try to capture with the glue, the tape runner, some of the edges here where it splits, so that the frame doesn't come off once the card is made, because that would be really annoying if it came apart. And I'm just gonna leave, and I think, well, just gonna shorten them, but slightly, not much. Put it at an angle and slightly shorten it. And this is the type of card that I'm actually gonna be ending in person, most probably, because it just makes it easier. Because otherwise those end up being more costly as well to ship out. So if I do ship out a gift or something, then usually the gift is bigger, so it's not a problem, but otherwise I try to limit that. So we got 4 cards done, which is pretty cool, because usually when I make these type of cards I only get 2 done, so I'm quite happy with my result. I hope that you've enjoyed this and that you're all doing well, and I will see you all very soon. Bye.